We start this month with a huge Cyber Monday, and we're also celebrating the launch of brand new programs over at Synchronicity University, which includes legendary astrologers like Maurice Fernandez and legends in the making like Key Taylor and Sabrina Monarch, and so much more. All those links are below. It'll be a great month. Enjoy. Hello, fabulous superstar Aquarius. Welcome to your horoscope for the month of December 2024. I am your astrologer, Nadiya Shah. Thank you for being here. It is a remarkable astrological month, without a doubt. Big moves happening in the sky now. Boys, at a very special time. And it truly is so special now. Powerful energies are with us, and rare energies are with us as well. Fully 3 planets changing directions, and we begin the month and we end the month on new moons. It is rare for a singular calendar month to have 2 new moons in it, which suggests that the universe is setting the stage for powerful new beginnings to kick into high gear once we step into a brand new year next month. So let's take it one at a time as we begin the month. On the first of the month, we will have a new moon in a friendship part of your sky. And so this has to do with gathering with others, social events, getting together in groups, including professional group endeavors you might participate in. And the more personal friendships that you have in your life as well are covered here. Well, this new moon is interesting. It is speaking in supreme harmony with Mars in your opposite sign. Mars right now is at the height of its power. It is closest to the Earth than it's otherwise going to be, because it will, just days after this new moon, change directions. I'll talk about that in just a moment, but suffice it to say, this supremely harmonious connection brings that much more energy and happiness to this time. It magnifies the social implications of this moment in terms of the people you're connecting with and the new people that you might be meeting now under the light of a new moon. However, Saturn is speaking in a conversation of tension with this new moon. And Saturn is in that financial part of your sky, having to do with money you earn, money you spend, but self-love and self-esteem are covered here as well. And so as much as that new beginning could bring with it new prospects, I want you to consider that it is, as we start the month, that Mercury is retrograde in the same part of the sky. And so Mercury retrograde here has an uncanny ability to bring friends from the past back into your life. Like they just kind of pop up. Sometimes when you least expected it, they have a way of showing up, as might be the case now. And so we have these energies sort of at play together, where you're feeling very open to others, very social, and might through happenstance reconnect with people that you knew before. However, there is some caution here. There is some need to pace yourself, especially if it feels like friendship and money are in any way mixing. That's where things might feel uncomfortable in some ways. So pace yourself at this time. But for all that, what you do want to remember is, whether it's new people coming in, reconnections with others, or events that you're attending, you want to be sure that these are people and the environments in which they're in that help you to feel good about you, that help affirm a healthy sense of self-value and self-esteem on your part. And so these energies now can be powerfully motivating and encouraging in key ways. In the ways in which that they help you to stay connected to others, they remind you that you're not alone, but they also encourage you to be honest and discerning about the people in your life, so that you have people that help you to feel good about you. It is on the 6th of the month that Mars officially goes retro in your opposite sign. This is about one-on-one alliances and partnerships of all kinds, including professional alliances and business partners as well. Mars brings with it a need to pour energy in that particular direction. And so it might feel as if you have to get along with another person. Some alliances can feel easier to be in than others, of course, but you're having to figure out the best way of directing your energy. and what is it that's going to work in the context of whatever alliance you find yourself in. I do think that most Aquarians are going to experience this energy in the context of love, so I'll talk about that in just a little bit as well. Now, this Mars retrograde season is one that I am walking with you as we go along. I've been talking about it here on my YouTube channel, including short horoscopes, and as we go along week to week in the superstar space. And of course, there's the extended download special horoscope at my website, nadiyashah.com. All those links are below. But again, I'm going to be here on my YouTube channel month to month to walk it with you. Now, having said that, the next day, Neptune goes direct. This is huge. So just Neptune going direct, which happens once a year, in and of itself would be a big deal. The fact that we have these two planets next to each other, back to back, changing directions, I think that's a really big deal. And it suggests that shift of energy and perspective at play. Simply having Mars in your opposite sign brings with it a heightened intensity and energy to just about anything you're doing. But Neptune is in a financial part of your sky, having to do with money you earn, money you spend, self-love, self-esteem, exactly where Saturn is so intimately involved in that new moon energy at the start of the month. And so with Neptune, the lights come on in some way. That's really what Neptune is about. When Neptune goes direct, it's like you didn't realize you were asleep until you had to wake up. And once you wake up, it's like everything looks different. Once you realize it was a dream, you can't go back to sleep, as might be the case now. For some Aquarians, this is going to orient around financial matters, how you're earning and how you're spending. You're getting more honest with yourself about it, whether it's worth it to you, and what's a better way forward for you. It helps you to consider what a more idealistic way of earning could be. It could bring forward incredibly inspired ideas as well, especially if you are in a Neptunian type of endeavor to earn your money, like healing of any kind, divination of any kind, arts of any kind, all of that covered by Neptune. However, this could also be a time when you're having to be really honest with yourself about what healthy self-love is for you, where you're on that path and where you're not, and what that requires uniquely for you. But I would say that along with how you're earning money in inspired ways, how you are loving yourself, how you're spending money, are you spending money from a place grounded in spiritual truth or not? Are you being conscious with your money or not? Well, your truth is going to be uniquely your own, but it is likely to come to the surface now. It is on the 15th of the month. We've got two huge celestial events. We have a full moon in fellow air sign Gemini. And it is on that day that Mercury goes direct. So the full moon itself brings with it emotional truth. That's what full moons do. They make it obvious what it is that you've been feeling, even if you haven't been able to admit it to yourself before. But what full moons also do is they bring things to conclusion, to culmination. And this is a full moon in a heart part of your sky, having to do with your understanding of what you want in your heart of hearts in every area of life, creative fulfillment, luck, and we also have the children in your life covered here. So this full moon is close in the sky to Jupiter. I love that energy because it's healing, it's hopeful. All of that is there. But this full moon is also going to be speaking in tension with Saturn and Neptune. And what that suggests is a need to be honest with yourself. There's a reality check here. There's an awareness around where you might be wasting energy, where you might be wasting money. Both Neptune and Saturn are in financial parts of your sky after all. You can have anything that you want, that your heart desires. I really believe that, especially where it is that you're willing to put in the time, to put in the effort, the work required to have it. However, it is going to be these energies of Neptune and Saturn that ask you to get honest about whether or not the work is worth it. And if the work is worth it to you, well, this is where you double down. You commit yourself that much more, perhaps to a creative project, towards its manifestation, towards sharing it and seeing it through, some endeavor. But it is also possible that where it is that that isn't necessarily the case, where it is that you realize that, you're wasting your very precious energy and your resources on a given endeavor. Well, this moment of truth will ultimately put you on a path towards the things that actually are going to fill your heart with the happiness that you desire and you deserve. Now, fun is covered here. Like I said, something fun and trying to get the funding together for that might be part of the picture. Something fun that ends up feeling like a waste of money might be part of the picture as well. I'm sorry to say it does happen. It might also be that you're trying to get finances together for something related to a child in your life, maybe an experience you'd like to share with them. Outside of that, though, this part of the sky where the full moon is in has to do with gambling. And that's where I'd invite you to be really careful, because squares of Neptune and Saturn suggest that there could be delays if you're trying to earn a fortunate turn of event. That's the Saturn. And Saturn wants you to have what you've earned. So wild windfalls, not necessarily. But with Neptune square, there can be losses. So I would invite you to just be careful with this energy. It's more about being more honest about the risks you have taken, the gambles you have made, and whether or not they've been worth it, and where you want to stay the course or shift gear. But where it is that you're looking for, some wild return, that's where you are going to want to be careful. There is no magic pill. There is a magic process. And the process involves effort. Is it worth the process or not? Your answers are going to be uniquely your own. The fact that on the same day Mercury goes direct tells me that you're seeing things more clearly, perhaps in an instant. And it might be as a result of a conversation with a friend in your life now. Through genuine sharing and an exchange with another, you're going to be able to more honestly evaluate where your heart is at this time. But it might also be a time when you are seeing a particular friendship dynamic differently in some way, more honestly, with a greater sense of nuance and maybe even some sense of grace as well. We end the month on the 30th with our second new moon this calendar month, and this new moon happens in the sign before yours, a part of the sky that has to do with what is happening on levels of soul, psyche, and spirit. It's about what's happening behind the scenes and under the surface. It's a quiet part of the sky, but it is speaking in harmony with Saturn. So either there's a lot happening like in the dream space. It's almost like your energy is being reconfigured and strengthened in important ways. But it's also possible that you're trying to put things into place now that you hope will be financially beneficial to you, that they'll strengthen you financially in the long run. Now, the other way that I see this energy working out is you're checking in with yourself to see how you're earning or spending your money. What's a waste of time? What is it that you're doing strictly for yourself? But what is it that perhaps requires further effort in order to garner that much more reward? Remember, Saturn is going to stay in this financial part of your sky. It's going to be in and out of here in 2025. There'll be special horoscopes for 2025. Be on the lookout for that. But outside of that, though, there might be some sense of needing to refine your pathway forward. But really, with Saturn, what I find is the biggest gains come at the very end of the transit, or just as we dip into the other side of the transit. And so if it feels like you're having to work harder to earn in some way, use this energy well towards understanding what you want to do and what you don't, and what you might want to sacrifice today for the bigger financial rewards later. And you will start to glimpse those rewards in 2025. I'm excited to talk to you about it as we go along. Where it comes to matters of love, big love energies for the Aquarians out there. It is Mars in your opposite sign going retro. That part of the sky has to do with partnership and passion, with Mars is evoked here. I would be very surprised if most Aquarians weren't experiencing this in the context of love. And remember, a Mars retrograde in your opposite sign means that breakups that happen tend to not stay broken up. Arguments become more likely, especially if that is a tendency. But truth is more likely to come forward as well. Though you won't be able to make sense of it or really know if it's the truth until we get to Mars direct in the spring of this coming year. But we've also got that full moon in the middle of the month. And that full moon in that heart part of the sky also has to do with romance and flirtation. And I feel as I look at this that with that full moon energy, as much as Mars in your opposite sign is super passionate, there's a desire to be gutsy, to pour yourself towards another person. There's also a sense here of that very energy of the full moon helping you to look at what love is for you. And maybe even having a flirtation that leaves you with mixed feelings. Love and money do not mix, especially under the light of that full moon. So you are going to want to be mindful of that. If it feels like lines are blurring in any way, that might be a moment to check in with yourself. But for all that, for those of you open to meeting someone new, I do think Mars in your opposite sign is likely to bring at least a passionate exchange with another person. Remember, Mars is closer than he might otherwise be to the Earth. His symbolism is that much more heightened. In your opposite sign, it brings these electric attractions to others. However, the nature of them and how you feel about them and what's likely to transpire, it's not likely to be as clear just yet. But know that there's going to be that desire to connect with others. It'll have you taking chances and make it that much more likely. That full moon, though, you do want to be mindful of, because if you're connecting with someone new, whether at the beginning or middle of the month, whether it's financial discrepancy or if it in any way feels blurry, you want to be mindful of that. It might just be that the two of you are not in the same place financially, and you get to decide what that's going to mean. For those of you who are just starting to date someone, well, Mars going retro suggests wanting somebody to pour your energy towards. And so it's unlikely that you wouldn't navigate forward with this person, though if that is a consideration and if it feels like this isn't someone to navigate forward with, you do want to honor that, trust that, knowing that more has yet to be revealed. But for all that, know that with that full moon energy in particular, complex feelings might rise to the surface. Maybe this is someone to navigate forward with, and in that case, you're asking yourself real questions of commitment. But it's also possible that that love and money thing influxing in some way, you just want to be careful with that. But if it really feels like this is not someone to navigate forward with, you're seeing certain truths here, well, it's okay to acknowledge that as well and make the right choice for you. And for those of you in an established bond, powerful energies here, especially with Mars in your opposite sign. I think your energy and your attention is going to be going towards your partner that much more. It might be you just want to. You're feeling more frisky with them is a possibility, or you're just feeling more motivated to spend time. It might be that there's a need to in some way to just be present with each other more over the course of these coming weeks. So pace yourself at this time. The energy in the middle of the month might be something fun you're hoping to do together and trying to get the financial piece of it together. But it could also be that it feels like you are being asked to give more than you feel like you're necessarily getting. And in that case, it's going to be up to you to decide what's right for you to do in light of your unique circumstances. What I love about this month for you, there's so much here. It's a powerful and meaningful astrological moment. I'm going to say I love the energy of, well, I know it's not the easiest vibration, Mars going retrograde, especially in your opposite sign. It could be mighty easy for someone to push your buttons. It can feel like all of a sudden one-on-one interactions with people just get you all riled up in great ways and really not great ways as well. But by being able to cultivate a little bit of patience, you might find this a time when you learn a lot about yourself and other people as well. But also realize just how much other people add to your life. In fact, for much of this month, the energy is so social. I can't help but feel that there are going to be a lot of people around wanting to spend time with you and genuinely feel that much more encouraged by you and want to encourage you as well. Well, thank you so much for watching. You can get a video like this each and every week for each and every sign for as low as just $3 a month with Choose Your Membership Rate over at NadiyaShahSuperstars.com or thefutureismagical.com. Now, higher tiers get you things like all access passes to Synchronicity University events, consultations with me, and so much more. All of this in the Superstar space at NadiyaShahSuperstars.com. Links are in the description below. Remember, this is December. We've got lots of giveaways happening over on my website, NadiyaShah.com, and on my social media. So make sure you follow me there. And I look forward to celebrating this last month of December with you. It'll be a great month. Enjoy.